Making headlines tonight, Minister of Buddha Sasana calls Sri Lankans to protect dignity of country ahead of international Vesak celebrations.
First at 9. This is Other Derana 24/7.
Mahinda claims security further pruned. Ruwan says intelligence units recommended. Government stresses to combat trade union terrorism. Lasith Malinga becomes first to 150 IPL wickets. France goes to the polls to decide its next president. Vesak is the most important day in the Buddhist calendar. It commemorates the birth of Prince Siddhartha, enlightenment and the Parinibbana of the Lord Buddha. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Buddha Sasana declared the National Vesak Week today. It will continue until the 13th of this month.
The UN International Day of Vesak celebration will be hosted by Sri Lanka this year. The festival will include an international Buddhist conference with the participation of over 400 delegates from over 80 countries.
We have already made arrangements to have the main function of the National Vesak Week at Vattarama Rajamaha Vihare, where the last Arahant of Sri Lanka, Maliyadeva Mahathero, was living. International Vesak celebration, we will commence on 12th at DMICH with the participation of the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi as the chief guest, and also the President and Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. We kindly request from all Sri Lankans, by safeguarding and protecting the dignity and the sacrosanctity of the religion, and display virtuous life to entire world. At this time, since the whole world is watching the events taking place in Sri Lanka.
Minister of Justice and Buddha Sasana Vijayadasa Rajapaksa also reiterated that the new constitution will be formulated so that the prominence given to Buddhism will not be harmed. The minister made the remarks while also refuting allegations that the proposed constitution would harm the unitary state of the country.
According to Article 9 of the present constitution, the Republic of Sri Lanka, quote, shall give to Buddhism the foremost place, and accordingly it shall be the duty of the state to protect and foster the Buddha Sasana, while assuring to all religions the rights granted by Articles 10 and 14e, unquote. Certain parties, however, claim that the interim report of the Operational Committee of the Constitutional Council has presented proposals to alter the prominence given to Buddhism.
They are presenting 7 new alternative articles, out of which 1 would replace the article that gives prominence to Buddhism. Quote, while Buddhism will receive prominence, all religions and beliefs will be equally treated with respect and dignity, unquote. How can you give prominence to one and grant equal treatment to everyone? This is the document issued by the Prime Minister to the Operational Committee of the Parliament. We clearly tell the people that when the new constitution is formulated, the article on the unitary state of the country, as in the present constitution, will not change. We attest that there will be no harm to the prominence given to Buddhism and the protection and sustenance of the Buddha Sasana in the new constitution.
And moving away from the UN International Vesak Day celebrations and the prominence to Buddhism in the constitution, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa claims that his security detail was further reduced today. Speaking at an event in Kurunagala, the former president noted that such moves will not obstruct him from serving the public.
ආරක්ෂක බඩින් 40 ගාණක් අයින් කරනවා.
Nearly 40 security guards have been reduced from my security detail. They are asking me to stay at home if I am scared. Even if they remove my entire security detail, it will be impossible to stop me from working for the people.
The former president also expressed his views regarding the government's policies on the country's economy.
The Prime Minister says that government income has risen and they want to strengthen the economy. They have cut off welfare and fertilizer subsidy, which the government is making profits from. They have imposed VAT as well.
Meanwhile, the government explains that former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's security detail was reduced after consulting the intelligence units of the country. This was revealed by State Minister of Defence Ron Wijewardena after a function in Gampaha today.
We have been discussing the matter for a while. After investigations, state intelligence units informed us that he does not need such a large security contingent. That is how we took the decision. This is not a political decision or revenge as some have claimed. We did not take the decision because of the May Day rally at Golface either. We took the decision purely because intelligence units confirmed that he is not threatened now like he was in the past.
State Minister Ron Wijewardena went on to say that Western Province Development Minister Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca is tipped to be appointed the deputy leader of the United National Party.
We discussed appointing Minister Sarath Fonseca as the deputy leader. It will soon be discussed at the party's working committee. Yes, there are a lot of opinions in a political party. That is the nature of politics. While some support the move, others go against. We will be able to come to a good solution after discussions.
Deputy Minister of Parliamentary Reforms and Mass Media, Karunaratne Paranavithana, stresses that the government is ready to deal with trade unions, likening their recent activities to terrorism. He made these comments in Ratnapura yesterday.
Unfortunately, a lot of people have forgotten Lord Buddha's message of kindness. The Government Medical Officers Association are first among them. There is a huge shortage of doctors in the country and the GMOA is taking unnecessary advantage of the situation. It is not easy to educate one to become a doctor. A doctor is the only professional who can work for both private institutions and the government concurrently. They strike in the morning and work at private hospitals in the evening. They are the ones who distress the public and make unlawful profits. We have ways to stop this trade union terrorism.
Parliamentarian Vimal Weerawansa launched his latest book, Ratata Uamana Wama, today at the Sambuddhatva Jayanti Mandira at Tummulla. He claims that the book was written during his recent imprisonment.
පරුමේම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙන්න ඕනේ සිරිසේන ජනාධිපතිතුමාටත් රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ අග්‍රාමාත්‍යතුමාටත්.
I should first of all thank the President and the Prime Minister for giving me the time to write 2 books. The country is going through multiple crises. The Deputy Governor of the Central Bank makes evident that the country had to print the highest amount of notes in its history due to the changes made in the bond system. Arjuna Mahendran has given a statement to the COPE that the bond system was changed under the advice of Ranil Wickremesinghe. The Prime Minister himself agreed in the Parliament that the system was changed by him. The interest rates were increased and it severely affected the economic system. The Prime Minister visited India recently and signed a Memorandum of Understanding which also contains the time period dictating when to sign the ETCA. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe signed everything according to India and now Prime Minister Modi is arriving to Sri Lanka to celebrate Vesak.
And the Ministry of Health today refuted claims on social media that health service officials have been spreading HIV while collecting blood for the National Filaria Prevention Program. The Director General of Health Services, Dr. Jayasundar Bandara, spoke to us in order to clarify the matter.
In fact, we got some reports from certain areas. After this message was there, some people have objected to the public health field officers who have gone during nights to place in certain areas where the filaria is a problem. The National filaria prevention program under the Health Ministry. We have earmarked and identified as an activity to collect blood for night filming. That is to study the presence of filaria parasite. That is in order to prevent filaria in Sri Lanka and eliminate filaria from Sri Lanka. And this Facebook message is in contrary with that. Probably a person who is not known about this thing or with ulterior motive he is sharing. In fact, when these people come to your house to collect the blood for night filming, you can ask them for their national or the official identity. They are employees of the Ministry of Health and they are employees of the filaria control program.
Welcome back to your news at 9. Officers of the High Commission of Pakistan organized an event to bid farewell to Major General Saeed Shakil Hussain, the Pakistani High Commissioner, in Colombo yesterday.
Sri Lankan parliamentarians, diplomats of both countries, media personalities and other dignitaries attended the official farewell organized in honor of the outgoing High Commissioner of Pakistan, Major General Saeed Shakil Hussain.
My 2 years were most beautiful experience for myself, my family. The cooperation that I got from people from Sri Lanka, from the bureaucrats, business people and everybody was beyond my expectation. It still has beautiful environment, law and order, and on the top of it, very loving people. The combination of this, if I ask any of you, I don't think so any other country in the world replicates it today.
And the Sri Lanka Computer Emergency Readiness Team has received 1,100 complaints related to Facebook within the first 4 months of this year, at a time when the legitimacy and security of social media has become a much talked about subject. We discussed the matter with SLCERT.
Most of the complaints related to Facebook received by Sri Lanka Computer Emergency Readiness Team during the first 4 months of this year are related to fake accounts. Other complaints are related to unauthorized usage of pictures posted by Facebook users. Senior Information Security Engineer at SLCERT, Roshan Chandragupta, spoke to Other Derana on how to avert such issues.
To make sure that you don't get that kind of a fake accounts and pictures being misused by others, there are a few things that you can do. One is, in your friend list, you need to make sure that you have only the friends, trusted and verified friends. And also, whenever you upload some pictures, make sure that it is within the friends only rather than to the public settings. According to the Computer Crimes Act, unauthorized access is a offense, so that you can take legal action against. Hacking into a Facebook account, then you can make a complaint to the police and try to follow through the legal path.
The Rotaract Club of the Law Faculty at the University of Colombo worked off its annual legal aid camp in Galle. Those who are unable to bear the high price of legal aid were provided legal services during Friday's camp.
Low and middle income earners in the Galle district were the target of this year's camp held at the court complex. It was conducted with the participation of 20 professional attorneys as well as students of the law faculty at the University of Colombo.
There are different areas of law which we are focusing on, such as land matters, family, divorce, even things like labor. We've asked lawyers to come, and so therefore they speak to them and give them advice on what sort of remedies they can have.
The Colombo Stock Exchange says foreign inflows originating from Australia recorded a marked improvement during April, surging following the Invest Sri Lanka Investor Forum in Australia. The Colombo Stock Exchange said in a statement that daily average inflows from Australia since the forum has improved to 23.22 million rupees, rising from an average of 0.87 million rupees recorded over the preceding 11 months. The post-Invest Sri Lanka Forum surge in investment from the country has also placed Australia as the 7th largest contributor to foreign purchases in the Colombo Bourse during April, a marked improvement from its ranking of 14 earlier. Overall, foreign investor activity rose this year with a net foreign inflow of 16.5 billion rupees. And during the stock market trading week concluded Friday, the all-share price index gained 0.5%, while the S&P SL20 index gained 0.4%, while the average turnover declined by 46% to 732 million rupees. Low level of foreign participation was seen, with foreign activity accounting for only 28% of market activity on Friday and throughout the week. We spoke to Dimantha Matthew from First Capital to find out what to expect from the Colombo Bourse in the new week.
The buying interest in the equity market is strong at the moment, with increasing local interest as local retail and high net worth individuals are starting to get active in a big way. We see a significant improvement in the local participation, improving the overall buying interest and sentiment in the market. We expect foreign buying to further strengthen and continue given the successful sovereign bond issue by the central bank today. Though at a slower pace, we believe the bullish trend in the stock market may continue in the coming week as well, though we expect some profit taking in selective counters only.
Last evening, celebrated investor Warren Buffett, speaking at the Berkshire Hathaway Incorporated annual meeting, assured shareholders they will be fine after he is gone. Buffett said the stock would go up if the billionaire and his 93-year-old vice chairman Charles Munger were to move on, underpinning a larger question of succession planning. The 2017 meeting was also attended by thousands of Chinese investors who travelled thousands of miles, with many wishing to accumulate investment in sites. Special accommodations were made for the thousands of Chinese visitors, and Chinese was the only foreign language used during the meeting. In your sports headlines, Lasith Malinga has become the first bowler to pick up 150 career wickets in the Indian Premier League. The fast bowler reached the milestone during Mumbai Indians' match against Delhi Daredevils yesterday. Malinga has played 105 IPL matches and has picked up 151 wickets at an average of 18.47 and an economy rate of 6.84. The Sri Lankan pacer has played for the Mumbai Indians since the inception of the IPL and is one of the new players, or rather few players, in the league who has remained with a single team throughout.
Right up there, the familiar side for Lasith Malinga. Strikes it.
Staying with the IPL, rising Pune Super Giants and the Mumbai Indians both picked up wins last night, solidifying their spots at the top of the championship. Pune beat Sunrisers Hyderabad away from home, while Mumbai dominated the Delhi Daredevils, winning by 146 runs.
Batting first against the Sunrisers, Pune only managed 148 runs, with Stephen Smith, Ben Stokes and MS Dhoni all scoring in the 30s. Siddharth Kaul was the pick of the bowlers for Hyderabad, picking up 4 wickets for just 29 runs. In response, the Sunrisers started well, with Warner scoring 40, but Ben Stokes picked up the top 3. Jaidev Unadkat then ran through the middle order, with only Yuvraj Singh showing resistance as Hyderabad finished 12 short of the target. In the late game, Mumbai set a 212-run target in their 20 overs, losing just 3 wickets, with West Indians' Lendl Simmons and Kieran Pollard scoring 66 and 63 respectively. Delhi in reply were bowled out for a meagre 66, with Harbhajan Singh and Khan Sharma taking 3 wickets each and Lasith Malinga picking up 2 for just 5 runs.
In cricket, back on the island, Southern Province cruised home against Western Province South in the final of the Provincial Under-19 one-day tournament.
Western Province South batted first and were bowled out for 189 in the last over of their allotted 50. Kamil Mishara top scored for Western Province South with 68, while Tikshana picked up 5 wickets for 41. In response, Southern Province got to 139 for the loss of 4 wickets in 34 overs before play was called off due to rain. After the Duckworth-Lewis adjustment, Southern Province were awarded the victory by 26 runs.
In tennis, third seed Gilles Muller made his way into the Estoril Open final with a straight sets win over South African Kevin Anderson. Muller joins in form Pablo Carreño Busta in tonight's final, the Spaniard having earlier beaten David Ferrer to advance.
Gilles Muller, who picked up his maiden singles title in January, took down Kevin Anderson 7-5, 6-4 to book his spot in the final. Earlier last evening, top seed Pablo Carreño Busta cruised to a 6-3, 6-3 win over compatriot David Ferrer, extending his fine form on clay this season. Tonight's final is Carreño Busta's second of the season, having finished runner-up in Rio de Janeiro in February.
In your international news, Pope Francis has criticized the naming of the mother of all bombs, the U.S. military's largest non-nuclear explosive ever deployed in combat. The head of the Roman Catholic Church made the remark at the Vatican yesterday while addressing students.
Il mondo è in guerra.
The world is at war. I was ashamed when I heard the name of a bomb, the mother of all bombs. A mother gives life, and this one gives death. And we call this device a mother.
Diciamo mamma.
The US Air Force dropped the bomb, officially designated as the GBU-43 Massive Ordnance Air Blast, on a base used by so-called Islamic State fighters in eastern Afghanistan last month.
Militants of Boko Haram group in West Africa have released 82 schoolgirls from a group of 276 they abducted in northeastern Nigeria 3 years ago. The girls were handed over in exchange for detained Boko Haram suspects following negotiations. The girls were initially kept in custody of the Nigerian army and have since arrived at the Nigerian capital, Abuja. Several of the schoolgirls have managed to escape since their abduction, and some were freed in exchange for militants, but many remain in Boko Haram captivity. "32 school children aged between 12 and 14 years have been killed in a bus crash in northern Tanzania. Officials say the bus plunged off the road into the steep ravine in heavy rain while transporting the children to attend an examination. 2 teachers and the driver of the bus were also killed in the crash, while 2 students were critically injured. Investigations into the cause of the accident are currently underway. And in your international top story, polling for the decisive, even divisive, second round of the French presidential election is underway, while liberal independent centrist Emmanuel Macron pitted against far-right nationalist Marine Le Pen.
The race for the successor of French President François Hollande follows a fiercely contested first round in which the French public rejected mainstream politics in favor of new approaches. The 2 candidates, Emmanuel Macron with his independent movement En Marche and Marine Le Pen with her far-right party, the National Front, seem polar opposites in their policies and their visions for France. Emmanuel Macron is a centrist, a strong supporter of the European Union with a pro-business, pro-globalization view. In stark contrast, Marine Le Pen has held a France-first anti-immigration policy, expecting France to abandon the euro in the domestic economy and hold a referendum on France's EU membership.
From now on, France will stand up for the interests of France. The euro has protected no one. The European Union will die because people no longer want it.
Parce que les peuples n'en veulent plus.
Du pays. It's a manifesto that would weaken the country, industry and the economy because leaving Europe and the euro would weaken France.
Et de l'euro, c'est un affaiblissement pour la France.
Monsieur Macron, il est encore une fois le candidat des élites.
Macron is the candidate of the elite, the oligarchy, of big private interest. His program is aimed at worsening the situation for the people.
Est un projet qui vise à aggraver la situation du peuple.
She was born in a castle of a party and she gives lessons. She pretends she is one of the people, but she is an heir.
La sécurité et le terrorisme est une problématique absolument...
Security and terrorism is a vital issue, which is totally absent from your manifesto. You don't want to fight against Islamist fundamentalism. I will close down radical mosques. I will expel with no hesitation those who preach hatred, who spread a deadly ideology.
Qui propage une idéologie mortifère.
Who's playing with the fear of our fellow citizens regarding terrorism? It's you. The High Priestess of Fear is sitting opposite me.
Still in France, a ban has been imposed on the breeding of dolphins and killer whales in captivity in a move applauded by animal rights campaigners as a historic French advance. Activists hope the new legislation will eventually lead to the end of entertainment shows and circuses involving the animals.
France's Environment Minister had signed the legislation on Wednesday, but the rules were tightened following reports that animals were being drugged in some aquariums. In addition to the ban on captive breeding, the new rules also ban the captivity of all whales, dolphins and porpoises, except for killer whales and bottlenose dolphins already held in licensed aquariums. Direct contact between the animals and the public, including swimming with dolphins, has also been banned.
Moving on to your weather forecast for tomorrow, showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in most provinces of the island after 2 p.m. Showers can also be expected in the coastal areas of the southern and western provinces during the morning hours. However, humid conditions are expected in some parts of the island. Here's a look at the city-by-city weather forecast for tomorrow. And that's it from your News at 9 broadcast live from the Other Derana 24/7 News Centre. Before we bid you good night, we'd like to leave you with some visuals from Sri Lanka's Highland Tea Estates, the home of our hallmark tea industry. The first tea estate in the country was established in Lulkandura by James Taylor in 1867. Since then, tea has become one of the most famous exports from our country, internationally recognized for its quality Ceylon tea. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.